Hey guys, Jesse Lee here, and today I wanted to give you a Steve Gadd lesson on this beat. Now there's one thing I want to mention about this beat, and it is the fact that this beat really works your coordination, and I'm not just talking about what limb plays what rhythm at what time. A lot of people think coordination is just playing different rhythms on different limbs. That's part of it, but it's definitely not all of it. A big part of coordination is, can you play different volume levels and different dynamics on each limb and keep it independent from every other limb? So if you're playing loud with your hands, can you play soft on your feet? Or if you're playing loud with your right side of your body, can you play quiet on the left side of your body? Okay? So keeping that in mind, let's go ahead and start. So when I like to teach my beats, I actually break them down beat by beat, note by note, in groups of either 8th or 16th notes, whatever the groove requires. So this one, it's an 8th and 16th groove. So let's break it down. We're just going to start with count 1 in the following 16th notes. So 1, E, and Okay? So count 1, we're already practicing this coordination. We're going to do a quiet hit on the right hand on the hi-hat and a loud hit on the bass drum. So at the same time, it sounds and looks like this. So you want to make sure you get that dynamic level down. It's really easy if you're hitting hard with your right foot to want to hit hard with your right hand too. But you got to stay away from doing that. So then the E is another non-accented note on the left hand on the snare. The is an accented note. Now on the unaccented notes, you'll notice Steve Gadd plays with the tip of his stick on the top of the hi-hat. Like that. And it gives a little more dainty sound to the hi-hat. Whereas when he does accents, a lot of times what he'll do is he'll bring his hand down, and now he's hitting the side of the hi-hat with the neck of his stick. And it gives it a fatter, more full sound. So that's what we're going to be doing here. On the end of 1 is an accent on the right hand, on the neck of the stick, on the side of the hi-hat. And then the is a strung bass drum, and nothing else hits. So if you string that together at a slow tempo, it sounds like this. Okay, not too bad. On to the next one, 2E and Okay, 2E and starts with another non-accented note on the right hand, right? And then the left hand non-accented on the snare. And then on the and is a loud right hand and a quiet bass drum at the same time. So we have just the opposite. The first note was a quiet right hand and a loud bass drum on count 1. Now on the and of 2, we have a loud right hand and a quiet bass drum. So that sounds like this. Hear the difference from this? You want to make sure you get those shifts in dynamic level, okay? So that's the and then the is a loud bass drum. So if you were to just listen to the bass drum of this part, it's quiet, loud. So this is what the and of 2 and sound like. Okay? So you want to make sure you get those dynamic levels. So if you put it with the right hand, the accent on the hi-hat, you have accented right hand, quiet bass drum, and then a loud bass drum. Okay, so moving on from there, we get to count 3. Now count 3 is actually pretty easy. It's all 3E and all 16th notes. No limb hits the same time as another one. It's just a quiet right hand and then a quiet left hand for counts 3E. And then and is a loud right hand and then a loud bass drum. So that, if you string it together, sounds like this. So now that we have the first 3 measures worked out, let's go ahead and take this piece by piece by stringing it together. We're going to do 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and I'll play it very slow for you so you can hear it all together. Okay, we've got that down. All you have to do is slowly get comfortable with that and bring it up to a tempo that is reasonable, like this. Okay, so now we're to count 4. Count 4 is actually pretty easy. There's a little bit to do with coordination of dynamics, but in terms of the rhythm, it's easier. So it's just eighth notes, and what it starts with is a quiet note on the right hand on the hi-hat, but a loud backbeat on the snare, right? Now you might be saying to yourself, well, Jesse, how do I do an accent on the snare with a high stick height, but then keep a quiet right hand on the hi-hat? Aren't my sticks going to get tangled up? And the answer is, if you do it wrong, yes. But if you do it right, no, it won't. Actually, so there are actually 2 ways to deal with this. One is, and you see Steve Gadd doing both of these, by the way, depending on what clip you see of him at what time. So in one way he fixes this is with his right hand, instead of hitting up here, actually take it and move it to his left. So if you're a left-handed player, you have to think about this opposite. Move it to your right. But for right-handed players, you're going to take your top hand, move it to the left. So by doing that, you move your stick over to where the portion of the circumference of that rotation that you're doing is minimized to, 2 or 3 inches instead of like I said, 10 or 15 inches out here. So that's one way to deal with it. Another way Gadd does this, so he'll take his right hand, and if he's doing like real loud on his left hand, he'll actually take his right hand and push it away from him to where he's way out on the outside of the hi-hat. And that gives his left hand tons of room to breathe. So if you're ever in a situation where you're playing traditional, this goes for anything, not just this beat. But if you're playing real hard and you have some complex rhythm, kicking your hand away and giving your left hand room to breathe and hit the snare real hard is one way to deal with that. So that being the case, though, I actually, for this particular beat, I actually keep my hand closer to me. I bring it to the left, my left anyway, and the right strength on my left hand. And the right hand out of the way, I can get quite a good smack without having to worry about too much. So that's count 4. Then moving on, the and of 4 is another accented right hand on the hi-hat on the neck of that stick. But at this time, we're actually going to lift our left foot to make an open tone. And when the foot comes back down, it's on one of the next bar, which is when the pattern resets. So when it comes down is the same time we hit a quiet right hand and a loud bass drum for that pattern to reset. So that sounds like this. Okay, so the counts 4 and 1 all sound like this. And notice my right hand again is doing quiet, loud, quiet. Quiet, loud, quiet. Okay, so now that we have that all worked out, we have the full beat. So let me play it for you very slow so you can hear everything strung together, all right? Okay, so you're probably thinking, but Jesse, you forgot one little part of the beat. I did not forget. I saved it for the end. And the reason for that is I wanted you guys to be able to get the coordination of each limb moving first before you added this little embellishment. But the embellishment is a diddle on the left hand, and it's on the very back at the beginning of the bar, counts 1 E and a. On the E, when we hit the left hand, instead of hitting it once, we're going to turn it into a diddle and hit it real quick. Like that. So instead of 1 E and sounding like this, 1 E and will now sound like this. Okay, so now I'll play the entire thing slowly so you can comprehend it, all right? So there you have it. Now we're really starting to hear the groove. And what makes it really groove is, like I said, getting those dynamics, but then slowly speeding it up over time, like this. There you have it, one of the many signature Steve Gadd beats. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. If you guys would do me the favor, if you want to hear more drum lessons like this, please post it in the comments below. It gives me ideas for what to put out next, and it helps me know what you guys actually want to see and hear about. And also, don't forget to like this video. And if you like Steve Gadd and you want to learn more Steve Gadd licks, go to my channel, subscribe. I have quite a few Steve Gadd drum lessons there. You could also check out this playlist here. That's my Steve Gadd drum lesson playlist. Finally, I hope you guys enjoyed the Steve Gadd lesson. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.